some persons who eat apples. So we're gonna see which one you prefer. Right? So we're gonna ask you to take one quickly. In my hand, I have an apple. And some of you chose apple, a piece of an apple to eat. What did you do with it? Let's have Sarah. Tell me what you did with your apple. Speak out loudly so that Miss can hear. You eat it. Tell how did you go about eating it? You can't remember how you eat it? With your mouth. What did you use in your mouth?
Teeth.
Your
teeth.
Thank you so much. And then it went, where did it go? Into your body. And so if you didn't have any energy and you had some fruits or some other food, you would now be able to get some
energy.
And we know that energy is the ability to do work. Good. Now, have you ever thought of what happens to the fruits or the food or even the little chana and pulori we eat when it goes in your body? Have you ever stopped to wonder what really happens?
Yes.
And have you ever been late, you wanted to go to the toilet but you didn't reach in time and something happened to you? Did that ever happen?
Yes.
No? Alright, so today we are going to be looking at the digestive system. We want to look at it. We want to find out what really happens to the food that we eat. So we're going to look now at a short video that is explaining this to us. And then we have some activities to do that is going to help us understand, right? Right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Hello friends and welcome to a new happy learning video. Today we're going to learn about the digestive system and digestion. So that our body can make the most of the food we eat, it must first transform itself into a simple substance called nutrients. These nutrients are then transported by our blood around our body to be used and converted into energy. This food transformation process is called digestion and is done in the digestive system. The digestive system is a very long tube through which the food travels and is made up of the following parts. The mouth, this is where the digestive journey begins. The teeth both chop and grind up the food we eat. Once it has been made into a ball, it is pushed down the food pipe to the pharynx. The pharynx is a cavity which shares the digestive system with the respiratory system. It is from the pharynx that the food goes to the esophagus. The esophagus is a soft muscular tube that moves food further down to the stomach. The stomach is a widening of the digestive tube. It creates a movement which allows food with a mixture of gastric fluids. Once this process has been done, it then travels to the small intestine. The small intestine is called small because of its width, not its length. It is actually a lot longer than the large intestine, measuring up to 7 meters in length, almost as wide as a football goal from post to post. Well, it is here in the small intestine where the food digestion journey ends. Now it is up to fluid processes by 2 glands, the liver and the pancreas, to finalize the transformation from foods to nutrients. Once the food is converted into nutrients, they then traverse the small intestine's walls and filter into our blood, where they are then made good use of by all of our body cells. But what happens to the food that our body doesn't need? All that, such as fiber for example, is transferred into the large intestine. The large intestine is a thick tube which accumulates substances which our organism cannot digest, and it is where water from these substances is absorbed. The substances then form fecal matter, or what we call poop, and it comes out of the anus. It sounds a little bit disgusting, but that's how our body works. Anyway, friends, I hope you found the digestive system and digestion as interesting as I did. See you later, and don't forget to subscribe to Happy Learning.
It was interesting and very detailed, right? It gave us a detailed description of what really happens in our body when we eat something. Now on the screen, we have a simple diagram. A what?
Simple
That
diagram.
shows us the parts of our digestive system. Now the first thing that happens when we eat is that we take the food in our mouth and our machine in our mouth, which is our teeth, as well as the thing, what is making this thing in your mouth? Your tongue. So your teeth bites the food, breaks it up, and your tongue rolls it into a ball, and it comes down something called your esophagus, was it? That's just a big word that means throat or windpipe, right? Now after it comes down, it comes to this thing that shapes like a piece, or like a piece. What do we call this? What do we call that? Stomach. After it comes to the stomach, it comes to this part here called your small intestine. What we call it? Small intestine. Now this is very big. It is almost 20 feet long. Right? But it is just showing this small. When we say there's a common term we would call this. What we call it? A G word. Guts. Our guts. So when somebody gets in an accident and their heart and you can say the guts come out, right? So that is the guts. Then from the small intestine we have the big or the large intestine. And then we have this part here. It's called anus. What is it? Anus. Good. We also have another part above the anus called the rectum. But do you see a part here?
Yes.
Anybody knows what this is? The liver. Very good, Kumo. This is the liver. Now, what are the functions of these parts? Each one of them, they have a function. Just like how every teacher in the school has a function to perform, so to the parts of the digestive system has a function. Let's look at the function very short. Look on the screen, we have a mouth. What we have?
Mouth.
The first part of the digestive process. Now the mouth, the teeth in the mouth, they're used to chew and make the food that we eat into small
Pieces.
and small pieces. Good. After that, it goes down to your throat, or your esophagus, or your passes through there and goes to something called your stomach. Now, this is showing us inside of your stomach. It has different parts, but we're not going to look at all of that. But this is what your stomach looks like. Have you ever thought about when your stomach is hurting?
Yes.
And then you eat spoiled food, and then what happens? You have to throw up, vomit. That's because your stomach cannot handle that. Right? So it gets rid of it. Now in here is where when the food comes down your throat, the stomach inside has acids. What it has?
Acids.
And we know that acid is eat waste stuff. It's break it down into small fine parts, and also it could breaks it up into a liquid, right? Or continuous small parts. And so the chemicals or the acids in there, it is very strong, right? And it can break up it tries to break up everything that we eat, right? and so after that now, you see it going down. It's going down here. Where it's going to? Huh? The small intestine. So we have a picture here. This is the small intestine. You can see the stomach here.
Yes.
And then it comes all the way there. The food is still going. Now in the small intestine, there is where the food, the nutrients, when we talked about energy, and the energy, we get the energy from the food we eat. And energy is absorbed. This is where the energy is taken out from the food, right? So when you eat mango, salaro, rice, curry, pine tart, chocolate, sweet tea, all of these things, the nutrients such as vitamins, minerals, carbohydrates, and one starting with P, protein, right? Protein. All of these things are taken out here and they go into your blood. Where they go? Where they go, class?
Blood.
Into your blood. From the blood, it's distributed to all the parts that need it. So if you have a bruise on your hand, protein is gonna go there, right? Or if you have a cut somewhere, protein is gonna go there to heal your cut or your bruise, right? Now after the small intestine, it goes into the large intestine. Now the large intestine is where all of the food that your body doesn't want anymore. So it took out all of the protein, all the nutrients, so it doesn't want anymore. Do you think of it like an orange? When you're eating an orange, do you eat everything?
No.
Or when you're squeezing lime, do you squeeze everything?
No.
No. What do we do with that part we don't use? We throw it away. Similarly, our body has a large intestine. And the large intestine, here is where all of the food that we do not want is skipped. And then it comes down to your a part called the rectum, and then it goes through your anus. And you have a bowel movement, or what people say, you want to go and do number 2. Right? So it is, even though when we hear digestive system, we think about something really hard to understand. It is actually very easy to understand. Right? Is it hard? No, it's not hard. And so, let's just look here. At the top we have liver, and we have gallbladder. Now these things, they help us to digest our food properly. The liver in our body, they get rid of all the substances that we do not need. Like when persons use or drink kerosene, does your body need kerosene?
No.
Or bleach?
No.
So when you drink that, if it's by accident, it goes to the liver and the liver tries to get rid of it. But sometimes when it's too much, what happens is that the liver can't handle it and you can die, right? So those let's look back at the parts now. Let's see if we could identify parts here. So we start in the
Mouth.
and the mouth is responsible for chewing. Diana, follow it. Then it comes down your, then your,
Stomach.
and then after your stomach it comes to your,
Small intestine.
then your,
Large intestine.
and then comes to your, what you were able to learn. So what we're gonna do, we have a game, it's a group game. And this game is to see how fast we can fix this puzzle. So I'm going to time the first group, then the second group, then the third group. And who does it the fastest, we're going to give them a prize. So it means that you have to work together and work as fast as you can. Then at the end, you have to tell me the parts, show me the parts, so that we can see if you actually learned the parts for me, right? So who wants to start first? Let's start with the middle group. Is it correct here?
Yes, sir.
Let me see. Alright, let's come and tell me if this is correct. But it did fix neat, you know, man. So should we still check the time? Good. So they took 23 seconds, right? So thank you very much. Let's go back there. 20, very good. Give them a clap for me. Good. 23 seconds. Let's see how this group will do now. You have 23, wait. You have 23 seconds. Is that complete there? So they took some 35 seconds. So they took a bit longer than the first group. Give them a clap, however. Good. Let's see what the last group can do for us. Alright, so they took some 48 seconds. So the winner of this little game is the middle group. Give them some claps. So they got first, right? Now, to conclude our lesson for today, alright, we're not finished. To conclude our lesson for today, I have a little worksheet for us to complete, and that will be the end, okay? Good. lesson for today. We are going to just go over the parts of the digestive system. One by one, I'm going to call on you to see if you can help me out. So, Soraya, the first part is the
Mouth.
stand please, is the mouth. Very well. Christine, this part here. Dina, so very good, thank you. Ishan, this part. Stomach, very good. This part here, Adeli. The windpipe, or another word we say is the esophagus. What is it? Esophagus. And this part here, this green part is the large intestine and the
Small intestine.
So the next time you have a bite of an apple or a bite of your biscuit, think of the process that that apple goes through to come out back. Thank you very much.